Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with UFC 308, Topuria vs Holloway, full card picks, and betting breakdown. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the first bout of the night, being Bruno Silva versus Ismail Naurdiev. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pick Ismail Naurdiev. I think that he's the more technical fighter. I feel like his slick striking is going to put him ahead of Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva is kind of coming to the later end of his career, not looking the best. Bruno Silva's got good striking and is heavy-handed. He's got that knockout power, but I feel like sometimes he throws looping shots, leaving him to getting countered and open. And I think that Ismail can definitely take advantage of that. Not only that, Bruno Silva has decent grappling abilities. He's got all right takedowns and good takedown defense, but I think Ismail Naurdiev is just better in every aspect. I feel like the striking, he's definitely the slicker, more technical striker out of the two. He's got a stiff, quick jab. He mixes up his shots very well to the head and to the body. He's got nice, snappy kicks to go along with his good striking. He's a decent grappler. I would say he's definitely better in the grappling department than Bruno Silva. I think that he maintains control of you when he gets you down. I feel like he's going to have the clear-cut speed advantage here. I think he's going to be the more explosive fighter. He's going to select his shots very, very wisely and pick apart Bruno Silva and beat him by unanimous decision, 29-28. I really think that he's going to pick apart Bruno Silva, mix in those takedowns, level change, mix in those kicks as well that he loves to use, and be a old-timer in Bruno Silva. I really do think that Ismail is the cleaner, more technical fighter out of the two, and I feel like he's going to pick him apart. Bruno Silva, like I said, hasn't been looking good as of lately. Lost to a Chris Weidman, another 40-year-old, and then lost to Shada, which, again, Shada's definitely a high-level competitor. He's a great fighter, so understandably so to lose to him. Then you have Brendan Allen, who just recently lost. And he's another great top prospect. He was previously in the top 5. I think that obviously Bruno Silva has been up against the best. I think he's going up against the best again in Ismail Naurdiev. And I think he's going to get beat again. It's going to be a great fight between these two, in which I think Ismail takes it 29-28 unanimous decision. And let's go ahead and look at the odds on these two, in which we have Bruno Silva sitting at a plus 130 and Ismail sitting at a negative 150. I like Ismail. I think that he's going to get it done against Bruno Silva. Like I said, pick him apart, outstrike him, mix in those kicks, mix in those takedowns, level changes, and control Bruno Silva when he gets him down to the ground and beat him via unanimous decision. And I like the odds at negative 150. You have over 2.5 sitting at plus 110. Like I said, I see this going to decision, so I like the over 2.5 at plus 110. And let's go ahead and move along to the next bout, in which we have Aslan versus Raffael Cerqueira. And I'm actually going to go up against everybody and pick Raffael Cerqueira because I feel like he's the more technical fighter out of the two. I think Aslan has the power, but I feel like he throws wild at points and throws looping shots at points and sometimes overextends. And I feel like somebody like Raffael, who's a little bit more calm, calculated, and technical, can pick apart Aslan and use his counter-striking abilities to find those shots on Aslan. I fear that Aslan, yes, at the start of this fight is going to be very dangerous, but as this fight goes on longer, it's going to fare better for Raffael Cerqueira. I think that Raffael is a good striker with phenomenal counterpunching abilities, like I said, has that knockout power, mixes up his shots very well to the head and to the body. He's got good grappling to go along with his good striking. If he needs to lean back on it. He's got decent takedowns. He's got good takedown defense. I feel like he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. I feel like Aslan has great striking. He's got that knockout power. But like I said, he gets wild at times, overextends, and I feel like Raffael Cerqueira could definitely take advantage of that. And also, Aibo Aslan has questionable grappling skills. He lost to Anton Turkalaj and then beat him in his previous bout by knockout, but he previously did lose to him and got submitted. So I do worry about his grappling skills being there. He's got 11 first-round finishes, but they're all by knockout. So obviously in the first round, I'm obviously going to be worried because he's a fast starter. He's got that knockout ability, but come later rounds, I don't see it faring very well for Aibo Aslan. I think it's going to be better for Raffael. It's going to favor him as the fight goes on longer. I think he's going to pick apart, maintain distance from Aibo Aslan, find those strikes, mix in takedowns to kind of leave Aibo Aslan's power out of the question, to kind of take it to where he has the advantage, I believe, and get the better of Aibo Aslan on the ground and maybe even in the striking department. I think it's a lot closer, but I think he still will get the better of him, being the more precise and patient and calculated striker. And I'm picking Raffael Cerqueira to beat Aibo Aslan. And let's go ahead and look at the odds here, in which we have Aibo Aslan sitting at a -115 and Raffael Cerqueira sitting at a -105. So kind of a coin flip here, but I'm going with Raffael Cerqueira. I think that as the fight goes on, it's going to favor him. He's the more technical fighter. He's going to pick apart Aibo Aslan, who is going to be throwing very hard at the start of it. So do worry in the first round because of the power. But I think that Raffael's slick striking is going to show here. He's going to start to pick apart Aslan, mix in those takedowns in that first round, kind of get Aslan a little bit tired, kind of weaken that power of his, and do the same thing second and third round. Outstrike him, pick him apart, and look like the more technical fighter on the feet over Aibo Aslan, who throws wild sometimes. Give me Raffael Cerqueira to beat Aibo Aslan, and over 1.5 sitting at a +110. I think that this definitely goes farther. I think that Raffael is going to use that grappling ability to use the grappling to his best ability, take down Aibo Aslan, and this will go to decision. So I like the over 1.5, but like I said, be cautious because Aibo Aslan does have the power, and I will be worrying about it first round. But as the later rounds come, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable with the Raffael Cerqueira route. And let's move along to the next bout, in which we have Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. And this is an interesting one here. I'm going to go ahead and pick Rinat, the gladiator Fakhretdinov. I think that Carlos Leal is no sleeper. He's got good striking. He's also got good grappling. So he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. I just feel like Rinat is also a well-rounded fighter. He's going to have the grappling advantage, in my opinion. I think wrestling is going to show here. He's going to be able to maintain control of Carlos Leal, get him down to the ground. I think that he's going to have the grappling advantage. He's the more dangerous submission artist, I feel like. But like I said, Carlos Leal is nobody to sleep on. He's got good striking. He mixes up his shots very well. I just think Rinat Fakhretdinov is just better. He's going to smother him, make him uncomfortable, pressure him the entire time, land some nice strikes, but also mix in those level changes and take Carlos Leal down, maintain control of him, beat him throughout the entire 3 rounds. I really think that Rinat Fakhretdinov should win this. But like I said, Carlos Leal could definitely pull out a round. It could be a 29-28 unanimous decision. But I'm very confident in Fakhretdinov's grappling skills. I feel like he is definitely going to have the grappling advantage. He's going to be able to maintain control of Carlos Leal, who does have some good scrambles. But like I said, Fakhretdinov has tremendous grappling abilities and does a great job of maintaining you when he gets you down and really makes you uncomfortable, overwhelms you, pressures you, and just does not make it fun for you. Give me Rinat Fakhretdinov to beat Carlos Leal in a 29-28 fashion. And let's look at the odds on this fight, in which Rinat Fakhretdinov is a -231 and Carlos Leal sitting at a +196. I agree with these odds. I feel like Fakhretdinov has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I feel like in the striking department it's going to be a lot closer, but it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a great, great fight between these two that I'm going to be intrigued to see. I feel like Rinat Fakhretdinov, this is going to be a pretty competitive fight in which he uses that grappling ability that he has, maintains control of Carlos Leal, mixes in the takedowns with his striking, finds the takedowns on Carlos Leal, does not allow him to scramble and quickly get up, and maintains control of him and beats him by a unanimous decision. Give me Rinat Fakhretdinov to beat Carlos Leal. And let's move along to the next bout, in which we have Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. And I feel like there's really only one way to go about this, and it's Farid Basharat. I feel like he's the more well-rounded fighter over Victor Hugo, who has good striking. He has a quick, stiff jab, mixes up his shots pretty well. But Farid Basharat is just another beast, man. Victor Hugo struggles to maintain control of you when he gets you down, and I feel like Farid Basharat is just a beast in the sense that he's got good striking. Not only that, he has good grappling. His striking, in the striking sense, he has clean, quick combinations, snappy kicks. He's got that knockout power to put you on your ass, but also the good grappling to back it up with strong takedowns. Like I said, maintains control of you when he gets you down. He's got tricky submissions. He also has a win recently over Taylor Lapilus, which he dominantly beat him. And he looked phenomenal in every sense, in every aspect. Grappling, striking. He is just a well-rounded beast of a fighter. And I think that he should dominate Victor Hugo, maybe even finding a knockout shot on Victor Hugo. I really do see it happening. I think he's got the obvious striking and grappling advantage. I feel like he's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the more dangerous fighter. I feel like he could get it done here against Victor Hugo in dominant fashion. And I'm going with Farid Basharat to beat Victor Hugo in dominant fashion. And let's look at the odds here, in which we have Farid Basharat at a -600 and Victor Hugo sitting at a +425. I like Basharat. I really do think he's going to get it done here. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter, like I've been saying. I think he gets Victor Hugo out of there, and I see him dominantly beating Victor Hugo. I really do. I feel like Basharat has been against the better competition, has beat the better competition, and will shine here against Victor Hugo in a dominant fashion. Like I said, I think the odds definitely reflect it. Seeing as he's a -600, give me Farid Basharat to beat Victor Hugo in dominant fashion. And let's go ahead and move to the next bout, in Kennedy Nzechukwu, can't really say that name, versus Chris Barnett. And I'm going with Kennedy the African Savage to beat the Beast Boy. I think that Chris Barnett obviously hasn't fought in 2 years and was previously going to fight Junior Tafa, but that fight ended up getting canceled for whatever reason, and now he's stepping in on short notice against Kennedy the African Savage, and I think this is an even worse fight for Chris Barnett. I think that he's going to get destroyed by Kennedy. I think that in his fight against Jake Collier, he was actually getting hurt and getting pieced up earlier in the fight, but then overcame and got the victory over Jake Collier. I think Kennedy is a different beast. Yes, he hasn't been looking the greatest as of lately. He got beat by the older OSP in a split decision. I think that he was looking a little bit flat, dull, but I think that he could definitely beat Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett hasn't been in there, like I said, in 2 years. Kennedy has been fighting pretty good, decent prospects in Dustin Jacoby, but like I said, got beat by OSP, the old OSP, but I think he gets it done here. I think that Kennedy is a good striker with knockout power. He has a significant height and reach advantage, as you guys can tell. That's why I kind of scrolled down so you guys can see. I think that the striking advantage is going to be clear for Kennedy. I think that he's going to give Chris Barnett problems from the outside. He's going to maintain distance, outstrike Chris Barnett, land some devastating shots on him. And I feel like this is going to be an easy fight for Kennedy, in which he knocks out Chris Barnett. I really see him knocking him out. I feel like the height and reach advantage is going to be a huge key in this fight. And I feel like Kennedy is going to find the shot on Chris Barnett, mix in those body shots as well, and just piece up Chris Barnett, who hasn't fought in a while, and find that knockout shot. Give me Kennedy, the African Savage, to beat the Beast Boy. And let's look at the odds here on this fight, in which we have Kennedy sitting at a negative 551 and Chris Barnett sitting at a plus 401. The odds reflect it, man. Chris Barnett has not fought in 2 years. He is not going to beat Kennedy, who has been fighting consistently. Yes, he hasn't looked the best, but again, has been fighting consistently. Still is better than Chris Barnett, and I think he beats him. I think that the over 1.5, sitting at plus 120, is not live. I think it goes under 1.5. I think Kennedy finds that knockout shot and puts Chris Barnett out. And let's go ahead and move along to the next bout, in which we have Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. And I like this match. I really do. I am going with Abus Magomedov over Bruno Ferreira. I think that Abus is a little bit cleaner, more technical of a fighter. I think he's got good striking with a quick, stiff jab. He's got the knockout power. He's more precise, I feel like, over Bruno Ferreira. Not only that, he's got good grappling. He's got strong takedowns. He maintains control of you. He's got good takedown defense. I am going with Abus Magomedov to beat Bruno Ferreira, who I feel like is a fast starter I'm going to be worried about in the earlier rounds. He's got decent striking. He's got the knockout power. He throws wild and sometimes overextends, which is why I feel like Abus Magomedov will win. I feel like he's the cleaner, more technical fighter and will pick apart Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira also doesn't have the best grappling. He's got decent takedown defense. I feel like Ferreira has only been to the second round twice in his career. So I feel like his gas tank is a little bit suspicious. I feel like as these rounds go on, it's going to favor Magomedov. Like I said, Bruno Ferreira, fast starter, definitely going to be dangerous in those earlier rounds. But I feel like Abus Magomedov's clean technical striking will put him ahead. He'll maintain distance, pick apart Bruno Ferreira. As this fight goes on, it's going to favor Magomedov. Ferreira's gas tank is suspicious, like I said. I think that Abus Magomedov is going to pick him apart, outstrike him, maintain that distance, throw those strikes, mix in those body shots, mix in the level changes, and take Ferreira down and beat him in the cards. I really do. I think Abus Magomedov is the better, cleaner striker here. I feel like he does have that knockout power. He could find that knockout on Bruno Ferreira, but I'm going by cards. I really think that he's going to pick him apart, outstrike him, and point fight him a little bit and mix in those takedowns and beat Bruno Ferreira, who sometimes gets a little bit wild and overextends. And let's look at the odds here, in which we have Bruno Ferreira sitting at a plus 118 and Magomedov sitting at a negative 138. So fairly close fight here in the odds department. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 200. I like the over 2.5. Like I said, I see this fight going to the cards. I think both fighters are definitely tough, competitive fighters on both sides. I think that they're both not chinny. I think Magomedov just gets the better of him as the cleaner and more technical fighter, picks him apart, maintains distance, mixes in some takedowns whenever he needs to, level changes whenever he needs to, and gets the better of Bruno Ferreira, who sometimes gets a little bit wild and overextends. Give me Magomedov to beat Bruno Ferreira. And let's look at the next bout, in which we got Myktybek Orolbai versus Mateusz Rębecki. And I am going with Orolbai. I think that he beats Rębecki. I think that Rębecki is strong and a durable fighter, but overall, I feel like Orolbai is just the better fighter, to be completely honest. I feel like he's more technical. I feel like he's got good striking. He's got a quick, stiff jab. He mixes up his shots well to the body and to the head. He's going to mix in those takedowns for sure. I feel like he definitely has a clear-cut grappling advantage here against Rębecki. I feel like Rębecki, yes, like I said, he's a strong, durable fighter, but dude, he's dangerous early in the fight because he's got that knockout power. He's a short, stubby guy. He's built. He's got the knockout power. He's kind of like a tree trunk, the strong at the bottom, but he's not the most technical fighter. I feel like he throws looping shots sometimes, and somebody like Orolbai, who is super technical and is great in all aspects, will just pick him apart. Definitely use his grappling abilities and take down Rębecki. I really feel like he will 100% use that grappling ability to his best. Use it to his best ability and beat Rębecki. I feel like Rębecki is suspect in the grappling department. I feel like Myktybek definitely has the grappling advantage. He's going to maintain control of Rębecki when he gets him down. He's going to absolutely destroy him from top position. I could see a finish from Orolbai via ground and pound. I really can, because I feel like Rębecki definitely struggles with exploding up and scrambling to get up after he's taken down. So give me Orolbai to beat him. I do think that he's going to ground and pound him and beat him via technical knockout or knockout. So give me Orolbai to beat Rębecki. And let's look at the odds on this, in which we have Rębecki sitting at a plus 230, Orolbai sitting at a negative 275 or 270. I like Orolbai. I see him definitely beating Rębecki. I feel like Rębecki throws those looping wild shots. Yes, they're hard. He's got that knockout power, but dude, somebody that's as technical as Orolbai and has the grappling skills that he has, he's got the clear-cut advantage and will definitely take it down to the ground, mix in some striking, and mix in those level changes and get the better of Rębecki. I really like him. I'm going to definitely be... He's a great parlay addition. I'm going to be betting him myself, I feel like. And he's also a good money line route. Over 2.5 sitting at plus 110. I'm definitely the under 2.5. I see Orolbai definitely getting the finish on Rębecki and beating him via ground and pound, maintaining control, and just using that top position to his advantage and beating the crap out of Rębecki. Give me Orolbai to beat Rębecki. And let's move along to the next bout, in which we have Geoff Neal versus Raffael dos Santos, the featured prelim. And I am going with Geoff Neal, the hands of steel. I think he beats the older Raffael dos Santos, who hasn't been looking the best as of lately. And something I want to note that I feel like is really weird is that Raffael dos Santos lost to Vince Luque, which Geoff Neal absolutely destroyed in dominant fashion. Just knocked him clean out. I really don't understand this fight. I mean, I feel like it's a clear-cut win for Geoff Neal. I feel like Neal is a cleaner technical fighter, which I feel like is the case in a lot of these fights. A lot of these fights are clean technical fighters up against some dangerous power on the other side. Raffael dos Santos definitely has power, but he is coming, like I said, to the later end of his career. He's got decent striking. He's got good grappling. He mixes up his shots very well. He's got a stiff, quick jab. I mean, he's good. But, dude, the up-and-coming prospect in Neal, who's younger, who's more hungry, who wants this win, has been losing to the top contenders in Shavkat Rakhmonov, then Ian Gary. And he put up a great fight against Ian Gary. I just see this as an easy fight for Neal. He's going up against an old-timer in Dos Santos, who, yes, is a good fighter, but just coming to the end of his career. And Neal looking good and going up against the best fighters and still in the prime of his career is just going to be the better fighter in every aspect. In the striking department, he's going to be quicker. He's going to be the more explosive fighter. He's going to look a lot better in the striking department. He's going to look a lot slicker. His footwork's going to look phenomenal. In the grappling department, again, going to look better. He scrambles really well. He's explosive, like I said. If he gets taken down, he's very good at quickly getting up and exploding upwards and getting to his feet. I think Geoff Neal is definitely going to beat Raffael dos Santos in dominant fashion here. I could see dos Santos maybe getting a round, but honestly, I think Geoff Neal takes this 30-27 unanimous decision. And let's go ahead and look at the odds on this, in which we have Neal sitting at a negative 300 and dos Santos sitting at a plus 250. I like Neal. I think that he beats Raffael dos Santos in dominant fashion. I think he's better in every aspect, in the striking aspect, in the grappling aspect. I think his explosiveness and his speed is going to propel him to the win here against Rafael dos Anjos. Give me Geoff Neal to beat Rafael dos Anjos. And let's go ahead and move to the next bout, in which we have Shada Magomed versus Armen Petrosyan. And I gotta go with Shada the Bullet Magomed. I think that he's going to be the better fighter over Armen. I think that in every aspect he's better than Armen, just like the previous fight. I mean, Shada has been up against some great competition. His striking against Olasacek in his previous bout looked slick. He looked phenomenal in that bout. He really did. He had a clean flow to his striking, and I believe that he's going to have the striking advantage here. He's got great striking with clean, quick combinations, snappy high and low kicks. I feel like in the grappling department, obviously we know he's a decent grappler. He doesn't really have the best grappling, but I don't really feel like Armen Petrosyan has the best grappling either. I feel like it's going to be more of a stand-up match between these two. Very little grappling altercations, maybe some clinch up against the fence, but that's about it. I feel like Shada is definitely going to have the speed and striking advantage, like I said. I feel like he's going to be the slicker fighter on the feet. He's going to have the cleaner strikes, the cleaner combinations. He's just got a flow to his striking that I believe that Armen Petrosyan doesn't have. Armen Petrosyan, don't get me wrong, is a clean kickboxer with good striking, mixes up his shots semi-well. He's got a quick, stiff jab, but I just feel like he's at a speed disadvantage, and I feel like Shada Magomedov is just a absolute beast, and I feel like Shada has a clear-cut win here, and I am going with Shada Magomedov to beat Armen Petrosyan in dominant fashion. I think Armen Petrosyan could maybe get around, but I don't see it happening. Give me Shada Magomedov to beat Armen Petrosyan 30-27. I think Shada is also live to even get a finish on Armen Petrosyan with some nasty inside boxing, some nasty elbows, some dominant ground and pound. If he gets him down and holds him from top position, could end it early via ground and pound. Give me Shada Magomedov to beat Armen Petrosyan. And let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight, in which we have Shada Magomedov sitting at a -155 and Armen Petrosyan sitting at a +135. I am very surprised by these odds. I am definitely going to be betting Shada. I feel like -155 is crazy for him. I feel like he should be around the -200, -210, somewhere around there. I feel like he's got a clear-cut advantage in the striking department. I feel like, yes, Armen may have the grappling advantage, but I feel like Shada is going to be able to fare well in the grappling department. I feel like Armen doesn't have like top-level grappling. He's got mediocre grappling. He's not going to absolutely dominate Magomedov in the ground. Now, I think in the striking department, Magomedov got the striking advantage. And when it comes down to the grappling, he's going to be able to fare well in that department. And give me Magomedov to beat Armen Petrosyan. And the over 2.5 sitting at a -245. I could see it going over and going to the cards, but like I said, dude, I think Shada could do some damage with some elbows, some dirty boxing, and beat Armen Petrosyan. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say via decision. I'll call Shada via decision, but I do think he's live to end it early against Armen Petrosyan. And let's go ahead and move to the next bout on this card, in which we have another banger in Magomed Ankalaev versus Aleksandar Rakić. And I am hyped for this fight. This fight is going to be absolute fireworks. I am going to pick Magomed Ankalaev over Aleksandar Rakić. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, yes, Aleksandar Rakić is a good striker with knockout power and snappy calf kicks that I could see giving Ankalaev a problem. But I think that he has a problem with leaving it out all on the line early in the fight. He wastes his gas tank very early, like he did in the Prochazka fight. He looked very good early in that fight. Piecing up Prochazka, was actually looking like the better fighter, but then Prochazka kind of made it a little bit dirty of a fight and was just starting to piece up Rakić on the inside and ended up knocking him out. Rakić looked good in the early stages of that fight, maintaining distance and striking from the outside, tagging up Yuri Prochazka. And I feel like that's somewhere where Rakić could definitely find success against Ankalaev, is maintaining distance and striking from the outside, putting the paws on him from the outside, and not letting him get in too close, not making this a dirty boxing type of fight, a brawl type of fight. I feel like Rakić definitely does not thrive in a brawl. I feel like it'll definitely favor Ankalaev if it goes to a brawl type of style, which is why I'm picking Ankalaev. I believe that this will go to a dirty brawl type of style. I fear that Ankalaev is definitely going to be the better striker and definitely have the grappling advantage. I definitely think he'll have the grappling advantage. I think that Ankalaev is the more patient, calculated striker here. I feel like he's got good striking. He's got that knockout power, like I said. I believe he's got the definite nasty inside boxing advantage. I feel like he has nasty elbows, nasty knees. He's got quick, clean combinations. He's also a good grappler, like I said. Not only a good striker, he's got good grappling aspects to push back on if he is getting tagged up on the feet. He will maintain control of you if he gets you down. He's got strong takedowns. So Rakić definitely does not want to be under Ankalaev. You do not want to be on the other end of his ground and pound. That is something you do not want. And I believe Magomed Ankalaev definitely has the grappling advantage. In terms of the striking, I think that if it does become a dirty brawl, it's definitely going to favor Ankalaev. If Rakić stays on the outside, he could pick apart Ankalaev if he learns how to maintain distance and not come in too close, because that's where he has the disadvantage, and I believe Ankalaev will have the advantage. Give me Ankalaev to beat Aleksandar Rakić. I think that he is going to do a great job of entering and exiting the pocket with ease. I feel like he's going to make this a dirty brawl type of fight. I feel like he will successfully make it a brawl against Aleksandar Rakić, get some nasty inside boxing going, and mix in those takedowns. Like I said, he's got the clear-cut grappling advantage. Why wouldn't he use it in the first round to kind of wear out Aleksandar Rakić, kind of wear out that power of Aleksandar Rakić? Then come second and third round, he's not as dangerous on the feet. Yes, he is still dangerous, but not as dangerous. And Ankalaev will just pick him apart and could even end it early via ground and pound. I do see that happening. I really do. I think Ankalaev could definitely take down Rakić, maintain control of him, and land some devastating ground and pound. And if Ankalaev can dominate Rakić within like the first round or two, he's easily the top contender. I mean, we all know he's the top contender right now, but he's just making it even more electrifying to make a match between him and Ferreira. He really is. If he can go out there and dominantly beat Aleksandar Rakić, everybody's going to want to be seeing him against Ferreira. Everybody already has been saying he's been ducking. So if he goes out and beats Aleksandar Rakić in dominant fashion, bang. He easily has a fight with Alex Pereira, and it's going to be a banger fight. But like I said, we got this fight to first get past. Rakić is no easy task, but I think Ankalaev is going to get it done. He could take him down to the ground, land some devastating ground and pound, and that's exactly what I see happening. Give me Magomed Ankalaev to beat Aleksandar Rakić, and let's look at the odds on this, in which we have Aleksandar Rakić sitting at a plus 285, Magomed Ankalaev sitting at a negative 360. I like Ankalaev. I see him as a good parlay addition. Like I said, I think he takes Aleksandar Rakić down to the ground if he has any trouble in the striking department, and lands some devastating ground and pound and finds the finish over Aleksandar Rakić. I really think Ankalaev is going to end this early, finish Aleksandar Rakić, and we know what's up next for him. And the odds for over 2.5 sitting at a negative 175, under 2.5 sitting at a plus 145. I like the under 2.5 sitting at a plus 145. I think Ankalaev gets rid of Rakić early and finishes him via ground and pound. I think he takes him down to the ground early in the first round, kind of gets rid of that power aspect of him, tires him out, wears him out, maintains control of him, and lands some devastating ground and pound. Give me Magomed Ankalaev to beat Aleksandar Rakić. And let's go ahead and move to another banger fight in Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige. And I was trying to find a way to pick Dan Ige, but I can't. I gotta go with Lerone Murphy. Dan Ige is a tough, durable fighter. He's a savage, taking on Diego Lopez short notice and going the distance with him. He looked phenomenal in it. which obviously it aged well. Diego Lopez is an absolute fucking beast. But like I said, Dan Ige is a good striker with a quick, stiff jab. He's got the knockout power on his side. He's a decent grappler with decent takedowns. But Lerone Murphy is just all around better. He's a solid kickboxer with great striking, clean, quick combinations, snappy low and high kicks. He's also got good grappling to fall back on if the striking isn't working. He's got solid takedowns. He's definitely got the grappling advantage. I think he gets it done against Danny Ige. I think that it's going to be a tough brawl between these two. I could see Danny Ige getting a round against Lerone Murphy in this. But ultimately, I think Lerone Murphy will get the better of him in the striking department. If he has any trouble with that, he will fall back on his grappling abilities and beat Danny Ige 29-28 via unanimous decision. And let's look at the odds here, in which Lerone Murphy sitting at a negative 245 and Dan Ige sitting at a plus 210. I like the odds here. Lerone Murphy sitting at negative 245. I believe that he has the grappling advantage. I believe in the striking it's a little bit closer, but I think he's still going to be the slicker striker on the feet, the more technical fighter. I think he's going to find his shots. I think he's going to be a little bit more selective with his shots and pick apart Dan Ige. Give me Lerone Murphy to beat Danny Ige. Over 2.5 sitting at negative 300. Under 2.5 sitting at plus 240. I like the over 2.5. I think that this definitely goes the distance. I think these are both two competitive fighters on both sides. Neither of them are chinny. This goes the distance. I think Danny Ige could get a single round, but I see Lerone Murphy dominating him. And let's move to the co-main event of the evening in Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. And dude, I tried so hard again to pick Robert Whittaker, man. I'm going to be honest, I am not the biggest fan of Khamzat, only for the fact that, yes, dude, he's a very skilled fighter. He's got great grappling abilities. He's got great striking abilities. I just can't stand that he's super inactive, and I don't want an inactive champion, to be completely honest. But other than that, he's a dominant fighter, great, highly skilled fighter. And Robert Whittaker, same thing, great fighter. He's a precise, technical fighter with great striking. He's got clean, quick combinations. He's got snappy leg kicks. He's a patient, calculated fighter with his strikes. He really is. He is super patient and calculated. Not only that, he's a good grappler with strong takedown defense. It's going to be very hard for Khamzat to get Robert Whittaker down, but I believe he can do it. Khamzat has insane grappling abilities. I mean, we've seen it time and time again up against the best of the best, too. He's not going up against trash cans. No, he's going up against the best of the best and still making it look easy. He beat Kamaru Usman in majority decision in dominant fashion, was doing great taking him down, maintaining control of him. Again, Kevin Holland submitted him, looked phenomenal taking him down early, absolutely bodied him. And dude, he's just highly skilled. I mean, there's not much to say for Khamzat other than he's highly skilled in the striking department. He's got clean, quick combinations. He's got that knockout power. He's got great grappling to go along with his good striking, insane grappling, strong takedowns. If he maintains you, if he gets you down to the ground, you're over. You're not getting up. There's no way you're getting up. He will not let you get up. He is incredibly strong in the clinch. He has a clear-cut grappling advantage, like I said. And like I said previously, against Kamaru Usman, I actually went back and watched this because a lot of people were saying, oh, how is he going to fare in 5-round fight? I feel like he didn't even really look tired in that fight. I feel like he will do fine in this 5-round fight. I feel like he'll start early in the sense of grappling with Robert Whittaker because Robert Whittaker has dangerous knockout power. I mean, he is nobody to sleep on. I feel like Khamzat needs to take this down to the ground. Like I said, wear out Robert Whittaker's power, make him a little bit tired, overwhelm him, make him uncomfortable, pressure him the entire time, and just get rid of that power early and make it a kind of like an easy fight for him in the sense that he wears out Robert Whittaker with the grappling abilities. I really do see that happening. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to use his grappling early. I don't think that he wants to test the striking up against Robert Whittaker, who has knocked out lots of people. Beat Marvin Vettori, beat Paulo Acosta, knocked out Ikram Aleksandar in his previous bout. dude, Robert Whittaker is nobody to sleep on, and I think Khamzat Chimaev is definitely going to want to take this down to the ground early, use that grappling advantage, maintain control of Robert Whittaker, land some devastating ground and pound, and kind of just slowly deteriorate Robert Whittaker's gas tank and power, and I see that as the key to winning for Khamzat. And let's move along to the odds on this, in which Robert Whittaker is sitting at a plus 209, Khamzat Chimaev sitting at a negative 244. I like Khamzat Chimaev. I think that he gets the win over Robert Whittaker, and I think he does it in dominant fashion. I feel like if he uses his grappling abilities like I think he will, he'll easily get this done against Robert Whittaker, taking him down early, kind of wearing him down, wearing him out, making sure he wears out that gas tank of Robert Whittaker and the power of Robert Whittaker and beats him. I think Khamzat Chimaev will beat Robert Whittaker, and I think that this goes over 2.5, if I'm going to be completely honest. I see it maybe ending in the 3rd or 4th round if Robert Whittaker kind of starts to slow down, get tired, and Khamzat Chimaev with the grappling ability starts to find those openings. Give me Khamzat Chimaev to beat Robert Whittaker. Like I said, I tried every way to pick Robert Whittaker because I actually picked him in the Ikram fight. I believed he was going to beat Ikram. I think Robert Whittaker is a great fighter who has been up against the top contenders time and time again and has proved himself, and I really hope he can get it done against Khamzat, but in all reality, I think Khamzat has a clear path to winning here with the grappling abilities, so I'm going Khamzat Chimaev to beat Robert Whittaker. And let's move along to the main event. Like I said, this card is absolutely stacked. If you guys haven't, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's throw it to the main fucking event in Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. I got Ilia Topuria. Listen, I just can't pick Max Holloway. My heart says Max Holloway. My mind says Ilia Topuria. Listen, in terms of the striking, I gotta go with Ilia Topuria. I feel like he's the slicker striker here. I feel like, yes, Max Holloway has a great boxing background. He's a phenomenal boxer that mixes up his shots to the body and to the head very well. I think that Ilia Topuria just has slicker striking. He's got the head movement to go along with it. He's got clean, quick combination. He mixes up his shots to the head and to the body very well, just like Max Holloway, I will say that. But I feel like he's got that dangerous knockout power that I believe Max Holloway doesn't really possess. Yes, Max Holloway has gotten some knockouts, but I just feel like he's not really known for that knockout power, and Ilia Topuria's got that knockout power, got that devastating knockout power. And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, but Volkanovski was coming off of that loss to Aslan Makhachev after being knocked out in the head. Still, though, landing that knockout shot still had some effect on Volkanovski. And if he lands that same shot on Holloway, I believe that he could definitely put Max Holloway's lights out. I think that Ilia Topuria definitely has some strong, heavy hands, and I feel like that's one of the factors here. I feel like another factor is him ripping the body of Max Holloway. I feel like he needs to work the body if he is going to win this. I feel like that is one of the keys to it. I also feel like he needs to mix in those level changes. I feel like he is going to have the grappling advantage against Max Holloway. That is also one of the reasons why I picked Topuria, because I feel like, yes, all this talk is going around about, oh, striking on the feet, 10 seconds this, 10 seconds that. We're all forgetting that Topuria has a good grappling background, and Max Holloway isn't the best grappler. He isn't. He is more known for his boxing abilities rather than his grappling abilities. I think Ilia Topuria has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I think that is going to be used here. I think that he also has the knockout power advantage. And I'm going with Ilia Topuria to beat Max Holloway. Yes, Max Holloway looked phenomenal in his win over Justin Gaethje, but I kind of took into account what Ilia Topuria said in the sense that, dude, it really didn't take any like, not skill, I want to say, but it was just kind of like them swinging and banging, and he landed that clean shot. I don't want to say it wasn't any skill involved, but it was just kind of swinging and banging, and I feel like if it comes down to it, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway swinging and banging, I feel like Topuria is going to be a little bit more calculated and could find that shot on Max Holloway, man. I really do believe it. I think Ilia Topuria is the slicker fighter here. In the striking department, I think in the grappling department, Ilia Topuria has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I'm going with Ilia Topuria to beat Max Blessed Holloway. My heart says Max. My mind says Ilia Topuria. I got to go with my mind. I got to be smart, going with Ilia Topuria to beat Max Holloway. And let's look at the odds here, in which Ilia Topuria is sitting at a negative 230, Max Holloway sitting at a plus 195. I like Ilia Topuria. I think that he beats Max Holloway. I think he's got the clear-cut grappling advantage. I think that he's the more dangerous knockout artist. I think that Ilia Topuria has the strength advantage, meaning the heavy-handed advantage, meaning he's got the knockout power over Max Holloway. I think Ilia Topuria is the slicker fighter on the feet. I think he beats Max Holloway, and I think it's going to be a great, great fight between these two. I am fucking excited, dude. This shit came up so fast between Topuria and Holloway, and I am excited for this fight. I think Topuria beats Max Holloway, and I'm excited for it. And if you guys haven't, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!